did an outstanding job, for a Wednesday practice to go out there. And after our meeting this morning, talking about what direction we're headed and how we're going to do some things on a day-to-day basis, some little tweaks we might have made to a schedule or how we're going to practice with timing, certain things like that. I think they all bought into what we wanted to get done today. And it was a really good tempo. I was really pleased with how the players started the day with the walkthrough. After the meetings, went to the first walkthrough before we came back out. But it's a beautiful day out here, and I think the players really did a nice job. So happy with that. With regards to the injuries, we rested a couple guys today. Jeff, Tyler, and then Zeitler. Those three guys rested. You will find out later today when we put the report out on all the other injuries. And as we go moving forward too, we talk about the injuries. It's going to be a day-to-day thing with everybody. We're going to always try to every week try to get everybody as healthy as possible to play on Sundays. And sometimes with players, and in this, I'll say this now, like where I'm standing now. As a leader of the organization, you learn about guys, and certain guys fight through things, and there's certain things that come up. So it's just every player is going to be different. So I'll try to share as much information as I can with you, but also we got to wait till Sunday sometimes to make those decisions. So open that up to questions.
Can you give us a few examples of what kind of tweaks you've made?
Well, we just adjusted a couple of, a little bit longer an individual period, kind of how we went out today. And the tempo with that we wanted, kind of explain to the guys what I wanted to get done for a Wednesday after, being away for a couple days, things like that. Some of the timing we had in the meetings, things like that we went through, and they had to kind of rush a little bit because I went a little longer in the team meeting today, but I think they did an outstanding job today.
What's your overall message, to the team about how things are going to be from this point forward?
Well, I kind of just talked to the team after talking to the staff about the direction we're headed, and there's a lot of football left. We got a very good football team coming here this weekend, so we got to prepare for them, number one. That was the big thing. But, how we want to play, I want these guys to play hard. I want them to play tough, and I want them to stick together. And that's the big thing, very similar to what I talked to you guys about the other day of, everyone playing together. We got to play some complementary football here. All three phases coming together on Sunday.
What was your sort of level of interaction with the players in your previous role, Mike, and how might that change now as a head coach?
Well, now I'm involved with the entire roster. It was more, I was with the offense and with everybody, really. I kind of roamed around in my role for what Brian wanted me to do and how he wanted me to help the team. So I kind of roamed all around. So now, I will have, I'll be in all the different meetings. I'll kind of rotate around, be in the special teams meetings, be, offense, defense meetings. And as you guys probably saw today, I was over there with some defensive individual drills. So
you started off the players themselves. I guess, did you have I'm trying to figure out, did you have more interaction more with the coaches previously or a lot with the players?
No, I think it's a combination of both, really. I love to get to know the players because it's all about the players. So the more I was obviously involved in the offense side of the ball, but there was plenty of things we did during the offseason program or during practice time we spend with the defensive guys that you get to know them. But I think it's great when you get to know a little bit about the players you have, and we got a great group of guys. We really do. We got a great group. They've done a great job of coming together, and so.
The DBs during the individual, any significance to that?
No, I just like to roam around, and I've always been on the offensive side of the ball, besides the 4 years as when I was in San Diego. So it's great to go over there, and I learn things from those guys. Watching the coaches coach and how they're explaining certain things, you pick some things up, and it's great to learn from them.
Significance, you would say, upping the tempo in practice, and how do you want to see that translate in games?
Well, I think it's important to practice the way you want to play. And, we had a great tempo in practice today and getting in and out of the huddle, and because you're gonna play the way you practice. And, my job is to make sure that we push these guys so that they play the way we want them to play. And so they did a great job today.
Mike, I'm curious, this offense was supposed to have a lot of the things that Ward did and college implemented it. Where are you in the RPO game? Because it's not something that we've seen a lot of. What are your thoughts on adding more to that?
Well, we have a game this week that we're game planning for, and I can't give you too much information on that. I wish I could, because I'm not going to come out and say we're doing this, we're playing that, we're doing this, because obviously they're going to watch this and So if I make a bunch of comments about certain different schemes, doesn't matter what the scheme is, they're going to take advantage of that. So I'm not going to really comment too much right now on all the philosophical things on what we want to do with Cam.
What would you say your style as a coach is? Do you like to be aggressive? Do you play it more conservatively? How do you, in terms of like going for fourth downs, or in terms of the play calling and things like that?
I like to win. Do whatever it takes to win. Really, when you ask that, because every team is different when you coach it from year in and year out, so it changes. What are the strengths of your football team? Who are you playing? What's the score of the game? What's the weather like? Is it a field position game where sometimes you might think, oh, everyone wants you to go for it, but it's a field position game, so you punt it and you play the field position game? Or there's a certain game where you have to score touchdowns to beat this team. You can't just kick field goals, and score X number of points, because more often you look at just the track record of certain offenses, they're going to score X number of points. So that's going to change from week to week. And when things work and you win games, it's not questioned. If you lose a game and you didn't do something, someone's always going to question that. So, we're going to go into every plan. We're going to have a plan week in and week out, and it's going to change from week to week. It's the same thing defensively, offensively, of what we're going to do to how we're going to attack the team, or in the kicking game. So it's kind of hard to answer to say it's only going to be this or it's only going to be that. It's, how is your offense playing? How is your defense playing? How is your kicking game going? Where do you need to get to attempt a field goal? So there's so many things that's going to go into that week in and week out. I know I kind of ran around your answer, but that's kind of the truth.
This is obviously going to be a big game for you, but it's also a big game for other guys on this roster with Mike Grable coming back. How would you like for them to kind of handle that part of it and approach this Sunday going against Mike Grable?
Go play. Go play. Go cut it loose. Go have fun. Like I talked about, stick together. Play 4 quarters of complementary football. That's the most important thing. And it's the next one on the schedule. We got to go out there and play our best game of the year. That's going to be the goal every week. I'm going to tell this team, regardless of who we're playing, it's going to be about us. We got to go out there and, we're going to, we had a great practice today, Wednesday, first or second down stuff. We got to keep grinding away. This is as you guys know, a very well coached football team. I was with Josh McDaniels in Denver for the 2 years there, years back in 2009 and 10. So he's a very good football coach too. So we know a lot about these guys, so we got to go out there and play our best game, take care of ourselves, number one.
General
Implementing
feeling.
change versus the knowledge that you don't have a training camp either, that it's a very short amount of time to turn things around here, I guess.
In which ways?
In terms of, wanting to implement any changes that you want to bring to the team versus the reality that you don't have a full training camp, instead you just got, a few days to...
You do that as a head coach. You make changes every season during the year. Whether you change the style of practice you have, how you rest certain players, what's the health of your football team. So that always happens. You go into a game plan, you add certain things against the team that you see a scheme. So that's normal. That's nothing new. So,
What's your general philosophy about analytics?
they're there to help us. They're a guide, when you talk about those things. But going back to the earlier question about the situations, are you aggressive, certain things, it's like, what is the flow of the game? How are you playing? We always take that, and our guys do a great job with all that. We have the meeting with Rob every week and talking about all the situations that come up and, the percentages, things like that. But sometimes you got to go with your gut on how your team's playing. There's plenty of times that teams go completely against them, and are very successful with them. So it's a tool to use, and we will always use those to our advantage. But we're going to always look at also how is our team playing and go from there.
Going back to facing the Patriots this week, what stands out about the way that Drake May's playing right now?
Well, Josh is a great football coach. Like I mentioned to you, I was in Denver with him. So he's been very successful with a number of quarterbacks that he's played with, and he's playing very efficient, just how I think Coach Variable and Josh want him to play.
How good to get Sweat back? How you think he looked? And I guess will the plan be just to kind of monitor him through the week to see how he is?
Yeah, we're definitely going to monitor him to see how he is. It's important to make sure that he's ready to go. He looked great out here. But we're just going to take it one day at a time with him and see how he feels. And I haven't talked to him, since we finished practice, but we'll talk to him later on today, and then we'll come out in the next couple of days and just kind of see how he is come Sunday.
Last one.
Mike, what's the biggest areas of improvement in your eyes for Cam now that you've seen him through a 6-game sample size?
Well, it's like we talked about the other day. It's going to be every week he's going to learn something new. And it's going to be a rookie quarterback. It's tough. There's no doubt about it. It's the hardest position to play. And I've told him a number of times in the last couple of days that I've seen him, it's just keep plugging along. It's just one day at a time, keep getting better. Cam has a burning desire to be great. A burning desire to be great. And the key thing I always tell him, just trust the system. And go out there and be you, have fun, be Cam.
Have him here for the duration of your career as much as possible, but how does this change for you now that the change has been made?
I think from a day-to-day process, it really doesn't change anything, not only from myself to the other players on the team. We still have our routines, the install, the game plan that we go through. Nothing's really changed. I think the biggest thing is just you feel for him just because, like, what he's done for me to get to this point, just through the draft prep through the off-season training camp work, how he's helped me get to this point. And so I feel for him, but, just from a process standpoint, nothing changes for us.
What's your relationship been like with Mike up at this point, and maybe how you envision things going moving forward with him as the coach?
Well, it's been good. He's one of the first people to greet me once I came in on my visit here during my 30 visits. And he's had, history with good quarterbacks. Got a chance to work with Phillip Rivers over there. And then just the attitude that he brings to just the team, the building, and he wants us to play winning football. He's going to get that out of us. And so, we just got to buy in, come in together, with coach and make plays for each other.
It's important for you, Cam, that, as you said, not that much changes because Bo is still calling the plays, and do they try to keep things as much routine as possible around you even in this time of change?
I don't understand it.
Bo is still the play caller, so that doesn't change. Is that important in keeping the continuity for you in the offense, that not too much changes in that regard, even though Brian's no longer here?
It's the same thing we've been doing the past couple of weeks, ever since we made the play calling change. So it really doesn't change our operation. It's just more of us trying to do things the right way in practice and translate to the game.
McCoy had said there were some things that he wanted to tweak during individual period. I know it's only been one, but what are your thoughts on those changes, and how much do you feel that's going to help you?
I think it's good. It's going to help a lot of us, not only myself, just more individual time with our coach, just getting the fundamentals right, whether it's defense, offense, and I think it's going to help us as we get to our team units in practice. I think it's going to help us in the game.
Has he discussed with you at all about being more secure with the football? Because that was something that he brought up in his initial question.
He discussed it enough, and he doesn't have to discuss it with me. I know that that's my job. Ball security is job security as a quarterback. So I know, the turnovers can't be a main thing for myself, something I got to continue to clean up.
Did you maybe drift off your midline and throw off your back foot or going backwards more in that game than you had? And how frustrating is it to fall into some of that stuff when you're working on it on a daily basis?
I didn't think I was throwing off my back foot a lot, unless you can tell me a play. But I made it slipped up because whether I have to move in the pocket or whether it's getting out or stepping up. But then I have to be accurate with the football. I have to give my receivers a chance to make plays for us and give them a chance to go score touchdowns.
How about drifting?
I just think it's more of a feel in the pocket that I have, whether it's drifting to check the ball down. Then also it's something that I've had throughout college, and that's something that I'm trying to clean up just less of it. And then also at times when I need to.
Did you feel like the change with Brian was necessary? Did you feel like that change had to be made?
It's really not for me to say. That's not my thing in the building. My job is to play quarterback. My job is to help lead this team to win. So I'm going to support whatever decision we make. The guys in the locker room are going to support it. But at the end of the day, with coach and without coach, we're trying to win football games. That's the main message that, Coach Mike is preaching, and we just got to live by it and stay true to it.
How would you describe what the locker room's reaction has been since the change was made?
It's been, good from a person standpoint, from nobody dragging in, nobody feeling sorry for themselves or what our record is, because the only way is up for us. We put ourselves in the hole. These first couple games, we got to dig ourselves out of this hole. So we still got, high energy. The locker room is great. We just got to continue to try to put games together and try to win.
Cam, how do you feel like guys responded today in practice? You guys talked after the game in Vegas about not having a great practice week last week.
I think we responded real well, especially just offensively, from the urgency level to the play calls, getting out the huddle faster, to myself operational wise, getting to the line of scrimmage and making the checks that we need to snap the ball. But I think we're trending in the right direction, but we just got to make it happen faster.
A little bit about your relationship with Mike. How would you describe his coaching style and how he's been with you on a day-to-day basis since you've been here?
I think it's even kill. He never gets too high or too low. Even throughout the sideline, you can see him on the game. His facial expression never changes. He's always the one to pick someone up if we need it. Now he's just in a more vocal role that he was just in, and I think it's going to be great for us. I think it's going to be great for us as an offense, and just at the end of the day, we're going to rally behind him and try to get some wins.
There may be a conflict between playing up-tempo, which creates more of an offensive game, right? More plays, and trying to maybe reduce the game for a rookie quarterback and not have you guys play more plays. Could that be some of what's going on with the more tempo, less tempo thing? Playing more tempo. Sorry.
You guys play that.
Playing at a higher tempo seems to be good for you. You like it, but it creates a lot more plays. And one of the things teams tend to do with the rookie quarterback is try to run the ball and slow a game down so a rookie quarterback doesn't have to play so many plays. Do those two things, are they maybe in conflict?
I don't think they're in conflict. I think it's more of, us getting great at the things that we're good at. I think that's the biggest thing. And whether we're going to play up-tempo or slow it down when we need to, I just think we got to run the ball, efficient. We got to have a, efficient pass game. I think we haven't been consistent at it the whole year. So once we get consistent at that, I think just everything else take care of itself.
Sorry to be on.
He spoke pretty explicitly with us during the preseason about wanting continuity for your career. Does it frustrate you that just 6 weeks in you've lost that?
It doesn't frustrate me. I've dealt with coaching changes at really every stop I've had, in my past. So that's not I'm not frustrated with that. The biggest thing is we're trying to score points as an offense. Our defense, they're playing hard for us each and every game. They're the reason why we're in a lot of these games in the fourth quarter to win it. Us 11 on our side of the ball, we just got to do our part. We haven't done that enough to win these games. So that's the biggest, thing that we're trying to focus on as an offense, score points for the defense and win some games.
Cam, what qualities would you prefer?
What would I prefer the head coach? Somebody who can really do everything from top to bottom, and that's both sides of the ball, offense, defense. They know the system in and out. And I think the biggest thing is how is the coach gonna be with the players? Like how is he gonna, camaraderie the locker room? You have all different types of personalities in our locker room, and whoever we get, I know to be the right hire. But that's not really my main focus right now. I'm with Coach McCoy right now. We're gonna try to win some games.
Cam, I'm curious, the time with Eric Mars that you spent that having to move on to another coach, was there anything from that transition that you could bring from that experience to this one after getting close to Callahan and now moving on to Michael?
I think from my past when I had different coaches, I had to learn new names. Here, I don't really got to learn no new names right now. But I think the biggest thing is when you go through something like that is just how is the team gonna be? How is the team gonna stay together? Even the situation we in, we're 1-5. But at the end of the day, we got nothing to lose. We have everything to gain, no matter who we play. And so we just got to prove that to ourselves every Sunday.
In the story that came out from The Athletic, you told the reporter that, to put it nicely, the league would be on notice once you played the way you want to play. What does playing the way you want to play look like?
Just from I say the biggest thing, just from how can I put it, the freeness of it, the fluidity of the game, from operation standpoint to my liking, to getting out of the huddle. And I think the biggest thing is just, me being better every play. I haven't played my best ball, and I think just once I'm, playing to my standard that I put on myself, it'll be able to take care of a lot of stuff on offense.
You meant more your individual play as opposed to in a system that fit you better.
Yeah.